Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor, and in a normal time in this nation, we would be spending all day today talking about the unbelievable revelations from this FBI document that members of Congress got to see yesterday. We talked to Congresswoman Nancy Mace about it yesterday. This from a whistleblower that reveals that a credible FBI informant has credible information, implicating our current president receiving $10 million into his family for an international pay-for-play bribery scam. That's a big deal. But instead, we have to start with the indictment pending of President Donald Trump over, well, we're still not sure, actually. Congressman Andy Biggs might be able to shed some light on this. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Larry. Good to be with you.
Do you have any more information here? I'm hearing from some people that this is a classified document issue. I heard from Kash Patel, who knows quite a bit about this, that this isn't actually a classified document thing. It's a mishandling of national security document situation. Shouldn't we hear more, considering the magnitude of this?
Well, yeah, we should know more by now. But, you know, it's amazing, isn't it, Larry, that they can keep a lid on something one time and then 99 times it leaks out when it's bad to have it leak out. But what's going on here? I think Kash is right. I think this is a mishandling of documents claim and also an obstruction of justice claim is what they're going to say. And it's an odd coincidence that it's publicly released the day that we have some pretty damning evidence on Joe Biden's family corruption. And so, I mean, I don't believe in coincidences. This stuff seems to happen routinely every time there's a big bomb to drop on the Biden family or on the leftists. All of a sudden, they're going to come after Donald Trump or somebody on the right. Usually it's Donald Trump, quite frankly, but that's what's going on.
If this isn't related, if this is in fact a mishandling of national security documents, I mean, it obviously begs the question how Hillary Clinton got away with tens of thousands of top secret emails on an unsecured server. James Comey, the FBI director at the time, said that there was no clear intent. Is there some intent here that we don't know about with President Trump?
No, this is nothing to do with what we call a culpable mental state, that he wanted to do something or intended to do something. This has everything to do with the political ramifications. And I really think when we pull this thing back, it's going to look like so many other things, like the Russian hoax that was on a predicate that actually Hillary Clinton, the Clinton campaign approved and funded. And there was nothing there, and the FBI knew it, DOJ knew it, the intelligence community knew it. That is kind of what we have going on here. You mentioned Hillary Clinton, but don't forget Joe Biden himself has, hundreds and hundreds of boxes of documents, including sitting right there in the garage next to the classic car, in case anybody needs to get into those documents. I guess they can take them for a ride in the car. You've got a whole myriad of people. Obama himself had problems. Mike Pence. None of those people were ever referred for mishandling of documents. Right. It's only Donald Trump. And good grief, if we can't admit that the DOJ and the FBI are weaponized for political purposes against political opponents, then I just don't know what planet we're living on.
Jack Smith, the special counsel who is supposed to bring this indictment next week on Tuesday, we're told, he has not even disclosed who his investigators are. Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch, they asked for a FOIA request to find out the names of the attorneys who were involved in this, and it's been withheld. Why is that? It sounds like a secret investigation.
Well, I think it was a secret investigation. Mr. Smith has a record of taking high-profile cases and managing to lose those. I think this will be the case. But, Larry, I have to make this really, really clear. I don't think Donald Trump is going to, if he gets a fair trial, he's not going to be found guilty. He might even be able to get charges dismissed. But it isn't the actual conviction and punishment here. In a political prosecution like this, it is actually the process that is the punishment, because it demeans you in the public eye. You're having to spend a truckload of money to defend your honor, your reputation, and it's being savaged by the hard left media all of those go to a political persecution, and that is the punishment.
Yeah.
They don't care whether they convict Donald Trump. They simply want to bring charges so they can determine whether whether they want to impact his campaign, they want to impact his life.
Yeah, I'm curious how it's going to impact his campaign, though. This might have a boomerang effect. And I want to get to that in a moment. But you put something on Twitter last night that I think is quite provocative. You said we ought to defund and dismantle the DOJ. Has it reached that point?
Yeah, I mean, so Larry, what I'm looking at is if there is anything salvageable, then let's salvage it. But look, you've got everything from the U.S. attorney works in the DOJ, U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. He is asking for outrageous amounts of sentencing time for people who are convicted for technical violations on January 6th. You have the DOJ colluding with the Hillary Clinton campaign to spy on Donald Trump's campaign and foster the entire Russia hoax, which took 3.5 years and was the basis of 2 impeachment schemes by the Democrats, all for political purposes. This DOJ and the FBI have become so politicized and so weaponized that some of our whistleblowers have told us that the FBI, for instance, is rotten to the core. You have Merrick Garland. Who is okaying investigating parents who show up at school board meetings and sticking tags on them. And this is the type of thing that's going on. This is what goes on in an authoritarian regime. And that's why I say it may be very well time to dismantle this and replace it with something else.
And by the way, much of this, even if it's not as bad as it appears to be, Congressman Biggs, the fact is nearly half, if not more than half, of the American people have lost faith. When I hear something that the FBI or the Justice Department has announced some new prosecution or charges or investigation or whatever, I look at it skeptically now. And I should be there. I mean, I love Elliot Ness. I love law enforcement. And I am now skeptical of what comes out of our FBI. You can't rebuild that trust without actually showing some level of repentance and acknowledgement that you're broke.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I love the rank and file as well. I mean, and that's where I focus on. The rank and file generally do an incredible job, but their leadership is ridiculously bad. And look who we've had. You've had Merrick Garland. You had Eric Holder. Eric Holder was the U.S. Attorney General, held in contempt. But what does Congress have to do? They have to refer it to the Attorney General to prosecute somebody who's held in contempt.
Yeah.
Eric Holder, of course, didn't hold himself in. He didn't go after Lois Lerner, who was in contempt. And just like that, we knew that Christopher Wray was not going to be prosecuted for contempt. The only people that have been held in contempt, and by the way, the record's something like 1 in 40 congressional contempt hearings, has been a conservative. The conservatives, Steve Bannon. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, Congressman Biggs, I want to get to the politics of this, whether that actually is going to help President Trump in the election, and also, oh, by the way, our current president in what appears to be an international bribery scandal. Stick with us. One more segment here with Congressman Andy Biggs of the Grand Canyon State of Arizona in just a moment. You're watching O'Connor Tonight.